Hey everyone, welcome back. Thanks for joining me for this short practice targeting your shoulders and your neck. You don't need any equipment for this class, but if you are like me and you feel like you need just a little bit of height underneath your hips to sit or kneel comfortably, you're going to want a yoga block or two. You can sit with your legs crossed or you can kneel like I am. So just get yourself organized. And then we're going to start with some gentle scapular movement with your arms dangling by your side. Keep your elbows pretty straight. You might even want to straighten your wrists out. And then you're just going to elevate your shoulder blades up towards your ears. And then slowly lower them down without pulling. Just let gravity do the work. Let's do that a few more times. And if you feel like your fingers are touching the ground too much as you lower your arms, just make a fist instead. That way you can keep your elbows straight. We're looking for an isolation here just in the shoulder blade. So even though you might be tempted to bend your elbows or to kind of roll your shoulders front to back, try to make this just a vertical movement up and down. We're going to continue with this elevation, but put a little more effort on the depression. So really pull down once you get to that reversal. So instead of just letting gravity pull your arms back down, go a little beyond that. Now we're going to hold each one of these positions just for a few breaths. So find your elevation and pause for 5, 4, 3, 2, slowly lower. Pull your shoulders down into maximal depression and pause for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And just let everything relax to neutral. Give it a little shimmy shake. And then bring your right arm straight out in front of you. Bend your elbow to 90 degrees. And we're going to use a little resistance stretching. Left hand is going to just hold on to the inside of that right arm. And we're not actually going to move this right arm at all, but we're just working on the effort of crossing the body into adduction. So starting with a pretty low level of effort and then gradually ramping up to what feels like a pretty good, solid muscular engagement. Maybe about halfway to your maximum. 2 more breaths, ramping it up a little more if you're comfortable with that. And then we're going to move right into the opposition. Adduction. Now we need to hold on to the outside edge of that right arm. Keep your elbow directly in front of your shoulder. Work on keeping that elbow open to a 90-degree bend, and then start to imagine you're pulling your arm outward as you resist that action with the left hand. Start low. On a scale of 1 to 10, you're just gradually ramping up to maybe 70 to 80 to 90% of your maximum. About halfway. A little bit more. At your max for 3, 2, 1. And then you're going to take that right arm, turn it inward, and just hide it behind your back. Palm facing outward. Try to keep your shoulders fairly even. I just caught myself kind of tucking down. So we're not looking to overdo it. We're just trying to get that arm in a position where it feels like it's resting comfortably on the back side. Your left arm can just relax here. And now we're going to add in some neck movement. So just a really simple turning of the head to the left and to the right. As you're moving landmark, touch your attention to the back of your skull and think about the movement originating from that region. So even though your nose and your chin are actually moving too, let's see if we can drive the movement from the back of the skull. If you feel like your shoulders are still even, awesome. If you feel like you're slumping on one side or lifting on one side, try to get them to balance out. And pause when your head turns to the right. Now we're going to keep our head turning towards this right shoulder and just do some tiny little tuck and lifts. So you're flexing the neck slightly down, and then you're extending the neck with your chin lifting slightly. Again, Let's move from the back of the skull. So you're thinking about taking the back of your skull a little closer to your left shoulder for a moment, and then trying to lift the back of your skull. Let's do 3 more little nods. And then bring your head back on straight. Take that right arm and reach it all the way over your head. Palm can either be facing towards the left here, or you can even go further than that and imagine that your palm is spinning to the wall behind you. Bend your elbow. Try to contain through this front rib cage area. And it's just going to feel like you're patting yourself on the back with your right hand. And then you're just very gently going to use that left hand, not to pull your arm over, but just straight back. So you're working on getting that upper arm closer to vertical, but still trying to wrap the triceps towards the front of the room and the biceps towards the back. In fact, let's take this left hand and hold your upper arm bone and think of turning your bicep towards your thumb and wrapping your tricep towards the front of the room. And then you could slightly lift your elbow to the ceiling. Breathing for 5, 4, 3, 2, and then let both arms just relax, either in your lap or by your side. Close your eyes and just feel your arms, feel your shoulders, sense your neck. Notice what you notice. If your legs need a change of scenery, take a moment or two. You can even pause the video. Stretch your knees out a little bit, either by forward folding, downward dog, something like that. Press play when you're ready. And then we're going to come back to this left arm now. So working on elbow just in front of the shoulder joint, open at about 90 degrees or so. Take your right hand just inside and press into that right hand. Start low level, gradually ramping up to greater efforts, as long as it feels safe and comfortable. Getting close to hitting that end range now. Feeling a good, strong muscular engagement on the front of the shoulder and the front of the chest. Now switch to that outside grip and imagine you're trying to pull your left arm away from your midline. Right arm is resisting that effort. We're starting low and gradually working up to our safest, greatest effort. Getting to our maximum here. And then you're going to weave your left arm just behind your back. Once again, trying to find that position where it feels like you can still keep your shoulders fairly even with one another, and then your right arm can just simplify. And we're going to start with the swivels. Turn the back of your skull from side to side. Pure neck movement, quieting down the rest of the body. Now the next time your gaze is towards your left shoulder, you're going to pause there. Keep your shoulders as even as you can and start to gently nod your head. The focus of the movement is at the back of the skull. The eyes obviously can follow along, guiding you upward and downward. And then neutralize your neck. Release your left arm from behind you, reach it over your head. Face your palm towards the right, or try to spin your arm even more into external rotation so you could high five that wall behind you. Keep your arm fairly close to you so that when you bend your elbow, that elbow is about even with the shoulder, not too wide, just do your best. And then you're going to use that right arm to just gently stretch your upper arm bone further backwards in space, and still working on that external rotation. Well, this side for me is just a little more restricted, so I'm not able to kind of get to where I was on the other arm. But let's do that self-adjustment again. You're going to hold your upper arm bone and spiral it outwardly. So put your thumb right in your bicep and try to turn that towards your thumb and wrap the back side of your arm more forward, and then just a gentle press back. As if you're trying to push your arm gently behind your ear and your left fingertips are just resting on your back, and we're breathing. Be mindful that the spine isn't arching too much, so we're looking for neutral curves in the back. Last 3, 2, and then we're relaxing. Let your arms hang once again. Just be. Drop your eyes closed and sense your body. Thanks again so much for joining me for this shorter practice. Let me know what you think. I'll always honor your requests and do my best to fulfill them. Thank you.